Hello everybody, welcome back to Creating Hanley. I am Kimberly at Creating Hanley, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make an easy, no-waste square in a square in a square in a square in a square block. So it's basically a square in a square block. Let's get into it. So what you're going to need is a square in the center. This can be any size you want. This happens to be a 4.5-inch block. But you can fussy cut something. Like you can kind of see here, I fussy cut this. Now you can have it, squared up this way, or you can turn it on point. So you see how the square changes. So if I have it this way, now I have directional fabric. So this says happy birthday. So you can read happy birthday. Now, if I had something else in here and I turned it on point, maybe I didn't have words, but I had something maybe that looked better on a diamond, in like a diamond shape, you can turn it on point. And now that's how your square looks. And then when you put this in a quilt, of course you add a triangle on this side and this side to square up. So it would be like this. This would be the end, right? I think I just kind of jumped ahead. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to make a square in a square. And then you can add as many layers as you want, okay? So, what you need for this project is a measuring tool, a measuring ruler of some sort, a rotary cutter, some snips or scissors, and a seam ripper. So these are the tools that you want. Now this can vary in size. You can have, this happens to be a 4.5 inch. If you have a straight edge, that's fine too. This is a 12.5 inch, which actually is what this block measures out to be, a 12.5 inch block. So you can make your square as small as you want or as big as you want. I happen to have another one here at 4.5 inches. So let's dive right in and show you how to do this. So now if you have directional fabric, it's going to matter which way you put your directional fabric. So what I do to make it as easy, simple, and no waste as possible is I'm going to take this square and I'm going to place it face down onto my fabric that's already face up. Okay, so let me take the camera over here to show you and zoom you right on over here. Sorry about all the noise, scratchy. So this is directional fabric also. Now it makes a difference how you place this on here. So I'm placing this right sides together, face down. I'm going to take my square. Now this happens to be 4.5 inches, and I cut it exactly 4.5 inches. So I'm going to cut this bottom piece the same. Now do I have to have this one down? No, I don't, because I know it's the same measurement as this. But I'm going to see where those edges are, and if it's actually a little bit wonky, this is another opportunity to clean up the edges. So I'm going to start here and go across. See, so yep, that trimmed off a little bit of that. So I'm going to take it, move this fabric out of the way. Keep that down. Now that did move a little slightly, so it might even be a little bit wonky. Now I have to come this way. Now I kind of have to walk around the cutting surface where I am because I don't have my twirly mat here. And then now this part, there's a little bit that I need to snip off because the rotary cutter didn't quite get there enough. All right, perfect. So move this out of the way. And so this is directional fabric. So I'm going to show it to you this way. So these are like drink glasses. And then here's my happy birthday. So you can see the happy birthday, you can read that, and you can see the drink glasses are in the correct position as you would drink them, right? They're in the correct position. Now, let's think about this. If I put this way, and I want to create wings on here, I want to create the diamond. Some of this is going to be upside down. So you want to figure out which part you want to be upside down. So let's take a look at this. Now here's the happy birthday. Happy birthday. You can read that. Now here on the sides, the drink glasses are in the correct position. Now here and here, the drink glasses are upside down. So can you see that? The drink glasses, happy birthday, and they're dumping out the contents of their cups. That may not matter to you. So if you're using directional fabric, know that there's going to be a couple of sides that are not going to be in the correct position. So if you have birds or like animals or something, or more words, some are going to be upside down and some are going to be correct sides. If you do it in this manner. Now there's another way to do that where you don't get things upside down. So I'm actually going to place my drinks upside down and then my happy birthday in the direction that you can read. So the birthday cake is this way, right? So I know now that when I flip these up, these are going to be in the same direction as my birthday cake, and then the sides are going to be upside down. Okay, so let me show you how I do this. So I place both right sides together, just like so. And I happen to have a white and a dark. So I'm going to use the white part, the light part, and I'm going to take a straight edge and a marking utensil of some sort. So I'm just going to get a pencil, and I guess I should have mentioned that's one of the tools that you need, some kind of marking. And I'm going to mark from corner to corner. So make sure that it's directly in the corner and all the way across. And then same thing on this side, corner to corner. There we go. Okay. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark a 1/4 inch. Now, you don't need this little measuring gauge. If you don't have it, you don't need it. You can just use your ruler. Hopefully you have like a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch measurement on here. You just use your ruler and mark in the corners a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch. And this, you don't need to do this, but this is going to help you with your guide in sewing. Okay, so if I use this tool, I just line up one edge and then mark at the 1/4 inch line, and then align up the other edge and then mark the 1/4 inch line. And hopefully you can see that. Hopefully your 1/4 inch should match up with the line. Okay, so hopefully your 1/4 inch matches up with the line. So they should intersect. So this line, this diagonal, should intersect that 1/4 inch. Does that make sense? Now if I go back to this one, or maybe if I use this, if you have this ruler, I can find another 1/4 inch mark on here and come in like this. And this is a relatively easy. You just mark your 1/4 inch square right there at the edge. And again on all four corners you get the 1/4 inch. Okay. All right. Now if you want to, you can pop a pin in here to make sure that these stay absolutely perfect, lined up. And then you take it to the machine and you sew all the way around. You sew from this 1/4 inch mark from here straight across to this corner, straight to this corner, straight to this corner, and then back. So you create an entire, so you enclose the entire thing. So let's take it over to the machine and I'll show you how we do it right here. So 1/4 inch, I have my thread. I have the same color bobbin thread as I have in the top, and it's fine for me. So I'm going to place my needle right down in this corner. Okay, so I'm going to line up on my presser foot where that 1/4 inch mark is. And again, if you have this measuring gauge, you can double check where the needle comes down and where that mark is on your presser foot. That should be a 1/4 inch. And it's right on. So I know I need to line up my fabric right on this line on my presser foot. You can barely even see that. And yours might be different. I have a brother machine number SE625. So I'm going to place that needle right down in that corner. And then I'm going to start, and I'm going to take it a little bit slow. Make sure you keep the line straight. And then once you get to this corner, stop, pivot. Now, I'm going to back up my, my needle just a little bit because it kind of went a little bit too forward there. I want it right on the corner. And then I'm going to leave my needle down, pivot the fabric, and then this lines up absolutely perfectly. I'm going to take this out because I don't need this pin in here anymore. And then sew a straight line all the way down to the next 1/4 inch mark. And stop on that mark. And again, I'm going to kind of finagle where this needle stops. And then pivot. And then keep going all the way to the next corner and stop, and then take it all the way to the edge. So now we've just enclosed right back where we started. Take it all the way to that spot just where we started. Now we have just enclosed this fabric. It's like a pillow now. It's like a flat pillow. And what you want to do is pull these apart. Okay? So pull these two pieces apart. And then here's where you take your this device, seam ripper, and put it right in the center, right where these two lines intersect. Put that seam ripper right in the center and gently lift up one layer and wiggle your way into those fibers, and then make sure you pull the bottom part away. So it's only on the top that you've created a hole, and then put a little bit of pressure on it and make a hole there. Okay, now you could slide all the way across to the edge here if you want to use your seam ripper. You can see it creates a little jagged edge there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to just scissor right along the line, and that creates a much smoother line. So you can see the scissor edge creates a smoother edge, and then right where I had the seam ripper, that creates a little bit of a jagged edge. So I don't want to do that all the way, but you can if you want. Now I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing all the way. Follow this all the way down to where your thread is, and then stop before the thread. Do not cut through the thread. Take it to the other side that you haven't cut yet. Follow that line and make sure you're not cutting through the back. Okay, you just want to cut through one layer, and then take it all the way to that corner again. Do not cut through the thread that you just sewed, and then the fourth line. Cut all the way down to the sew line. Do not cut through. And then, presto, bingo, now you open this up and you have a square in a square. Okay, now I'm going to take this over to my pressing station and press this open. I'm just using a dry iron press it open. And then you can see where you might need a little extra snip. Like maybe the scissors didn't cut all the way to the edge that you want. And then bingo, there you have your square in a square. Now again, you could turn it on point if you want to, and then, oops, if it's on point, now you can put this square into a quilt block as is. But if you leave it like this, now this creates a point at the top, and you probably need to do an extra layer to make it a square. So let me bring my sample back out so you can see how I had to put an extra layer on. So here I have my birthday cake upside down. Here I have my birthday cake, and here's the point, right? So I had to put an extra layer, so another square, to make it square. Now I happen to went 2 layers further. I did another layer and then another layer to make it square. So you guys see what I mean, right? Square in a square. Now, to make this a little bit easier, if you wanted to do another layer, what you do is you take your next color, your contrasting color, or whatever it is that you want, and you place this on your fabric, okay? I'm not going to actually do it. I'm just going to show you. So you place this on your fabric. So place your next fabric up, face side up, and then take your square opened up, ironed. And now, if you want to, it's probably a smart idea to trim this right now, because this is on a diagonal and it might get, or I should say a bias, so it might get a little wonky. You can leave these on if you don't want to trim it. That's fine. It's gonna get cut anyway in this next step. But if you wanted to square it, now's a good time to do that. And I would recommend doing that. However, I don't. And you can tell my square got a little bit wonky because I didn't. You can tell, right? My square is a little bit wonky. All right, but the next step is to add this face side down to your fabric. Take your ruler and then measure that up from side to side and go straight across. Measure and then cut with your rotary cutter all the way around. So pretend I had a big enough ruler here. To this side, to that side, and then this side. So now I have another square that matches this one, face side down. And you're gonna do the same thing. Once you have them completely aligned up, pin, just like we did the first time, and then draw your X on the back, draw that X, and then sew all the way around, and then again, use your seam ripper, find right in the center where that X is, drive your seam ripper through one layer only, and then, so you start that hole, and then you take your snips or your scissors, and then you cut along the line that you drew, okay? And then you open up that layer, and now your layer has 3. Your squares, you have 3 squares, right? So that's what that looks like right there. Now, if you want to add another layer, you do the same thing. You take this square, place it face down on your face up fabric, cut all the way around, pin it together, draw your line, then pin it, then sew all the way around. And again, you're just going to repeat. If you want to do 16 layers on here and just make your whole quilt that same concept, this same concept, like I could put layer upon layer upon layer until I used a whole yard of fabric. Yeah, and then so you could do that if you want to. So that is how you do an easy, no waste square in a square. You could put as many layers on as you want. All right, guys. It should be this way. Happy birthday. So happy birthday to you. Have fun making this square. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yes, you can use all kinds of different types or different colors, different shades, different tones of fabric. And let me know how it turns out. All right. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.